cool.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 'tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice, and the reason why I'm called Michael A. Grimm, because that's what's in the credits. And of course, here with me now is the number one greatest voice actor who created his own work and was nice enough to do the voice of Flash Gordon, is none other than Flash Gordon himself, Jericho Kean.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I personally think you're the greatest voice actor, so that's a high compliment coming from the multi-voice himself.
My thanks.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm happy to be here.
well, of course, I hear a lot of people always says that you're quite a celebrity yourself. I mean, when I showed people my first recording, the Halloween one where you did that Lindworm, they always kept saying, "You knew Jericho Kean?" I was like, "Yeah, I know him." And he was like, "That guy's the greatest. I mean, I can't believe you're friends with him." And I was like, "Yeah."
I would say that's surprising. I was like, I feel like, I mean, you've been one of my friends for a long time. I mean, in the whole fan film community, I feel like we started talking a couple years back and kind of just clicked, and we've done a lot of stuff together, so it's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. But of course, when of course, one thing I wanted to start out, how I started this whole thing, it was because I was so driven into doing a crossover, one of the two legendary sci-fi heroes that nobody had never thought of before. And one thing that got me started is because of Dynamite Entertainment. They both own both Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers. And I
Nice.
thought to myself, okay, Dynamite Entertainment, how come you two didn't cross over? And
Right.
they never did. So I thought, very well, I got to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I
That's
worked up.
interesting. I didn't realize that they were owned by the same company.
Well, they were, but now they're owned by another company now,
Got it.
and it's a separate one.
Okay.
So, I mean, these were the only issues they made before they were owned by another company. So go figure.
Gotcha.
And when I was working on the script, I thought to myself, which sci-fi hero could I play? And I kind of feel myself connected more into Buck Rogers, but I couldn't find somebody who'd be good enough to do Flash Gordon. And of course, I was working on my Cluedo series at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
then I thought to, oh, sorry, my Superman fell down. Anyway, I thought to myself, who could I pick to play Flash Gordon? And then I saw your video when you did your fan made Han Solo, and then
Yeah.
it just occurred to me, since George Lucas, I mean, the Star Wars franchise has Flash Gordon's fingerprints all over. So I thought to myself, since he does a good job playing Han Solo, I figured he should do Flash Gordon. And when I gave you the script and you did the lines, which you did very spectacular, and I just feel like I picked a good one.
Well, I thank you. Yeah, it was I remember when you reached out to me for that, because I honestly I know who Flash Gordon is, but I wasn't super familiar with it when you first introduced it. I've always heard about Flash and Buck Rogers and stuff like that, but I wouldn't say that I was actively a fan of it. But when you actually reached out about the project, I started researching the characters and getting into the characters, and I thought it was cool because one of the few things I knew about Flash Gordon was that George Lucas was very inspired by that when he made Star Wars. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like the Han Solo character connected very well with Flash. So that was kind of an easy transition for me. And also how you even put in the script the joke of Flash being a Star Wars fan and Buck being a Star Trek fan. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I thought that was a really neat idea. I mean, since these characters were the homages to the sci-fi franchise, and one thing is pretty funny, when Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon were really popular, there were a lot of Flash Gordon fans, Buck Rogers fans arguing each other, going like, Flash Gordon's great, no, Buck Rogers great, blah, 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 blah. But now we
Yeah.
have Star Wars the best, no, Star Trek's the best, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I thought that would be the different thing to put. And of course, I had to update some of the origins as well because, believe it or not, I've heard that Buck Rogers was not only a comic strip character, he was also a Pulp Fiction character from a book called Armageddon 2419 AD. And in
Hmm.
his origin, he was in World War One until he was trapped in the cave, and the fumes from the cave put him in a stasis, and then he woke up in the future. But I decided to pick that origin from the TV show back in the 70s, except I make him a former Air Force pilot, and then join NASA, and then join the Space Force, which I thought that would be more modern right there.
Yeah.
And for your Flash Gordon, I decided to combine the '80s movie and, of course, the 2000s TV series, where he used to be a college quarterback at Harvard, and then all of a sudden become a track runner.
Yeah.
So, but of course, I still kept the essence and the stories. I mean, if you ever watched that show called Buckaroo Banzai,
Oh yeah.
they kept putting footnotes on other stories that's never been written or even heard of. But I decided to do sort of the opposite. I put a footnote on every single adventures that Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon had been through, so it makes some of the fans wanted to know, I gotta listen to their radio show or TV show or something about them, see what
Yeah.
they went through, and see the adventures. So I just do a little mix here and there, and even mention some of the characters they meet.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to, I mean, for you, you've been doing audio stuff for longer than I have. I'm kind of more recently dipping into audio dramas because I've done more fan films. Um, but you like you, I feel like in audio there's a lot more you can do. Like there's less limitations than there is like doing a film. And I think something that you've always done really well, and it's been really cool to see you do, is take characters that exist separately and try to come up with really cool crossovers um, that you don't see Hollywood really doing that much. And I think it's really cool to see like almost like a what if story. Like, what if these characters crossed over? It's something that you don't really get other than, you know, us fans creating stuff. So I think it's cool that you've had these ideas to be able to bring this stuff to life, and it's something that most people probably have thought about. Like, hey, I wonder what would happen if Buck and Flash had a crossover, but until you, nobody else had done anything. So it's cool to be able to do that stuff.
Well, I mean, years of listening to radio stories. I mean, my favorite always been the Shadow. I mean, when I saw that Alec Baldwin movie, I wanted to know his adventures. And when I looked in the magazine called Barnes and Noble, and they said they have a CD collection from old time radio of the Shadow, I
Yeah.
wanted that for Christmas. My grandma got it for me, and I listened to every single adventures. And I also love, one thing I do miss more than anything is the audio scary stories that they always sell in stores since the 70s all the way to the 90s, and then the early 2000s they stopped selling CDs with audio stories, but I love them a lot. They give me more goosebumps and more thrills than a horror movie itself. So
Yeah.
that's why that's how I got my experience on audio, because of that stuff. I mean, when you get to movies, I mean, you can just see everything and it's not much to the imagination. But with audio, you can let your imagination just run through your head and trying to kind of vision how things go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it's a lot easier because if I'm doing fan film, I have to ask people to come all the way over here, and I have to spend a lot of money for sets and costumes and everything, which I'm not exactly a rich person.
Yeah, I mean that's something that like, I mean, I was in high school when I started doing my Doctor Who fan films, and my dad has always been very good at building stuff, and he had a bunch of materials, so like he helped me build the TARDIS and everything, and that was really cool. But as I've gotten older, now I have a job and I'm working and everything, and my friends all have jobs and lives. It's a lot harder for us to get together and film anything
Yeah,
anymore
that's
with
true.
schedules and everything else. I also moved, so I'm in a different place. Um, lots of things that affect films have changed, so it makes it a lot harder for us to actually go and make movies, which is why I'm kind of starting to switch over to audios because I want to continue telling the stories, but audio is a lot easier to do that because I mean, you and I both live in different states, but we can
Yeah.
still be in the same audio together, and that's something I couldn't have done in the film. So,
Yep, that's true. And of course, right now I discovered that they are doing this thing called graphic audio, and their slogan is "Movie in Your Mind," where they take comic books and make audio, and that's what drew me to do that. Justice League and Looney Tunes, which you did a great job doing. The Green Lantern and also Batman, because I remember you said if I ever decide to do a DC character, you wanted to do Batman, so I gave you a break to let you do that.
yeah, that was really fun. Now, now whenever this video comes out, I'm assuming the audience hasn't heard that yet.
Well, I'm keeping them up to date because I'm letting them know
Okay,
the audio is done, and the I created the trailer, and I'm gonna have the trailer uploaded on my birthday, June 4th. Of course,
nice.
believe it or not, my next birthday, I'm gonna be 40 years old. I'm hitting the
Wow.
40.
Well, I'm getting close to. I'm at 27, so I'm getting close to 30.
Oh, lucky you, you young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
and and I also want the audio to be uploaded in October 14th because I started my YouTube channel back in October 14th, 2015.
Wow.
So,
So
so it,
this is your 10-year anniversary then.
yeah, exactly.
That's
It is my
awesome.
10-year anniversary. I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. And you've definitely, I mean, I've seen you've grown a lot in your quality, and I mean, you've been really consistent at it, which is awesome.
Hmm. I mean, when I first did my first video, it was my first time, and I didn't delve into detail. And then when I did the fifth anniversary, I decided to delve this time and pretend to be drunk while I'm showing them the pages and the comics until my other character, Mr. Death, told me I've been drinking a lot of grape cider, not real champagne.
That's funny.
So I thought celebrating my 10th anniversary, do an audio adaptation, and since uh since the damn Warner Brothers decided not to do an animated adaptation, and I heard about the CEO wants to get rid of want to get rid of the Looney Tunes, which I gotta say that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know what's his deal. I mean,
I don't know. That's really weird to me.
but at least he's given it to Ketchup, an independent animated studio, which I'm looking
Well,
forward
that's
to.
good.
Which I am looking forward to see that movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. And so far, I mean, one thing I have done is I mean, I did the first audio of Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers before I got these comic books, these graphic novels. But when
Mhm.
I read the novels, I had to update it for the sequel, and of course, make the characters look more like the comics. Thanks for that website that you showed me, Hero Forge. Now I
Yeah.
don't. Now I don't have to take the pictures from the comics. I can just design them for the cover.
Yeah, that's been a really cool. I actually found that through one of my friends for D&D because you could 3D print the miniatures and have them for D&D games. So it's really cool to see how you can use it for so many other things and like character design and all that stuff. Like I've used it for character concepts and everything just to kind of create a character through that. So,
Believe me, Jericho, I've been using that thing nonstop because every time when I think about another character from the Flash and Buckverse or other characters from the public domain, I just couldn't stop. I kept creating more and more and more. I mean, I just kept building and building other characters in case if I decided to do a future audio.
yeah.
Which, believe it or not, believe it or not, one thing I have done, which I thought it was really cool, that in the first one, it's your Flash Gordon and of course Gabby as Dell entering in the Buck Rogers universe. And I thought the sequel, it's time that Buck Rogers and his Wilma Deering and his other friends go into the Flash Gordon world.
Yeah.
And now the third one I'm working on, the Galactic Defenders, I decided to take every single one of these sci-fi heroes and make like a former team, thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy that inspired me.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, most of the universe that they're going to be, I mean, I'll introduce every single character and them talking about their adventures and such, but the main focus will be focusing more on John Carter's universe.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, I have a soft spot for John Carter, even though the Disney movie was really good, but it should have better praise so they can do a sequel. But
Yeah.
what can you do? And since I've heard that John Carter, not exactly a first space hero, but the first sci-fi hero who ends up in another planet, so I thought he needs to be heard too, along with, and of course, I want other people to know about Barbarella and Captain Future, and so on and so forth. I do have plans for some of the people who be doing the voice, and of course, I may need to ask your friend Luke Lang to play some other characters.
Yeah.
And of course, believe it or not, Dr. Omega, who is like a Victorian version of Doctor Who, since he
Mm-hmm.
was the blueprint of Doctor Who. I mean, if you look up the history of Dr. Omega, he was based from a French author who is a big fan of H.G. Wells. So
Ah, makes
in
sense.
and his story was very similar to Doctor Who. I mean, he looks similar to William Hartnell. He travels through time and space with this giant bullet-shaped rocket ship that is smaller but bigger in the inside, called the Cosmos. And
Mm-hmm.
um, and of course, I have my good friend Grant doing the voice of him. And of course, I told him, talk like William Hartnell, but say a few French words. Since it's written by a French author, he would say a few French language here and
Yeah.
there while talking like William Hartnell.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm also planning to have him play Dr. Omega again for this one event of Doctor Who I'm working on, which your doctor's in it. And it's going to explain how your doctor found the multiverse equation, because I decided to make Dr. Omega be like the gatekeeper of the equation. And he brings me through to help this one doctor who is haunted by the Valiard. But I meet all these multiple different alternate versions of the doctor, and of course your doctor gets involved, and we help
Oh,
my
yeah.
friend Adam Fishwick, who is haunted by the Valiard.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, so if you ever had any ideas for Dr. Omega, I'll let Grant know.
Yeah, definitely. I'll let you know if I think of anything.
And of course, I'll be looking forward to that one Doctor Who you're working on, the Doctor Who space, I mean,
Time and Space Jam, yeah.
I'm in Space Jam, yeah. Because Dennis and I be looking forward to do some more Looney Tune characters, because I wasn't the only one who did most of the Looney Tunes. Dennis, who is a big diehard fan of the Looney Tunes, I mean, he wanted to do the lines too, and
That's
he was,
awesome.
yeah, and he was really happy. Of course, he also is a big fan of DC superheroes, but not a big fan of Doctor Who. But I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you get the Looney Tunes at least.
Yep, that's true. So pretty much, I'm just working on a lot of projects and a lot of things to go on. Tell me about what projects you're working on.
So I actually am working on a video right now. It's gonna hopefully be out pretty soon. It's for my Jericho Kean channel. So I have, Redemption Studios, which is where the films and stuff go.
Yeah.
Um, I'm working on a video for that channel to kind of, as it like an update, like where I've been for the last couple years, because I haven't really been posting. And in that video, I talk about some projects, but just to kind of summarize, Doctor Who Regenerated, the Volume 2, the audio series. We're actually, I might be restructuring it a little bit more, but still we're working on continuing that story. So working on the scripts for that right now. We have the first episode mostly recorded. Still have to finish editing on it. The first episode is Hideous Laughter, so it's actually basically alien clowns are invading, and it's a very interesting idea. It's actually kind of playing a joke on, if you remember back in, I think it was 2016, there was a bunch of people running around dressed up as clowns.
Oh
So we
yeah.
basically took that and made it into a Doctor Who episode. So that's a fun one. I'm actually working on a script right now for another episode that's either going to be a Doctor Who crossover with Ghost Adventures or Supernatural. I'm still kind of tossing around different ideas with that, but it's going to be kind of a ghost episode. So I'm excited for that one.
Sounds a lot like the ones I've been juggling. I mean, I'm working on my own doctor, where this time my doctor and my companion Hannah, we go to a some sort of virtual reality video game, and we meet this character who calls himself the Game Lord, and he's created by an AI. Except one thing he does, he wants people to beat the game, because if they lose the game, they'll lose their lives, they'll die.
Oh,
So now,
wow.
so now my doctor and Hannah is supposed to beat the game, and we cross paths with it's me, Mario, and
Oh,
Sonic
that's cool.
the Hedgehog, and Lara Croft, and of course, Master Chief.
That's a cool idea. Get some video game characters in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I'm thinking about some other crossovers I might do in the future. A huge theme with the next season of my Doctor Who series is reality and alternate realities and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things I could pull
Yeah.
into it that I'm kind of figuring out how to make work. So that's the main thing. I've obviously been doing a lot more voice acting. I did the voice for Batman for you. I did
Yeah.
the voice for Batman for a project Luke is working on. And then I'm still working on editing the Han Solo fan film. So hopefully that'll be done pretty soon too.
I'll be looking forward to seeing that. I mean, I always knew you did a great Han Solo, and I'd be looking forward to seeing it, and I bet it looks pretty well. Maybe a lot better than what Disney did.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It was a big project, and I think it was bigger than a lot of us thought it was going to be. And now that I'm the only one editing it, it's taking me a long time, but definitely getting back to it, hoping to get that finished up pretty soon. I would like to do some Batman stuff myself. So I might be doing that in the future. Let's see. As well as some other like audio drama stuff. I have some original characters I want to do stuff with. Trying to think, there was another fan audio that I wanted to do, but now I'm not remembering it.
No. And of course, one thing, my good friend Yana, who plays the Doctor after me, she told me she hadn't played the Doctor in a long time. I only gave her one episode, but I am working on another one. And guess what I'm thinking about on this one?
What's that?
What if the Doctor crossover Stargate?
Oh, that would be cool.
And the title is called Stargate Unit, because
Nice.
Kate Lethbridge Stewart gets involved, and they think about starting a new branch where now Unit's going to be using the Stargate.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm looking. I got the Doctor Who audio series. Han Solo is the main thing, and then I wanted to do a Batman Court of Owls audio drama series. I think that would be cool.
Oh
yeah,
that's
right. That's a series that's my favorite comic series storyline. And actually, I have the book of it right here. So I've got this. This is the graphic novel of all the Court of Owls story. So I want to turn this into an audio series because they haven't done anything with it in movies. They did one animated thing, but it was very small. And I'm like, it's such a cool story. I want to do something with it. So
kind of like what I did with the Justice League and Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Well, at least great minds think alike, right?
Definitely.
Well, I gotta say, this is a pretty good interview, and thank you very much, Jericho Kean, or shall I call you Flash Gordon?
That works. It's been a
Anyway,
pleasure.
and for any of you who've been watching this, please leave a comment down below, hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to subscribe at Jericho's 2 channels. Which one is it?
There's Jericho Kane and there is Redemption Studios.
Redemption Studios. Subscribe to him and enjoy his videos. So, thank you very much, Jericho Kean, for your time.
Of course, it's been a pleasure being here.
Anyway, this is Michael A. Graham signing off.
See you guys.